There is no shortage of great TV these days. In fact, I'd say we're in the golden age of television, especially for longer form storytelling where each episode in the show feels like a movie itself, both in length and in material. Television is oftentimes a way for us to unplug and escape to another world, one of demons and hunters, or dragons and knights, or even just simple superheroes and villains. A lot of us want nothing to do with the outside world when watching TV. We simply want to escape and maybe think that our problems could be a lot worse. However, there's another form of television, many really, but we'll stick to this one for today, that relies on the viewer not wanting to escape, but to feel like they belong. These are typically shorter length shows where the protagonists are ones that we can relate to and that we can love, and whose issues we feel a personal connection with. They tend to be simple stories where it's not the insane, fantastical premise that draws us in, but the relatable and comfy nature of the show and its characters. It's a show that pokes fun at the mundane, yet draws you in and makes you feel like one of the gang. It leaves you with good feelings and warm tidings, making it easier to pop on the next episode and binge a week's worth of TV all in one sitting. And if there's a show that deserves more recognition for its ability to make you care about its relatable characters, and can make you feel like you might even have it better than you thought, a wholesome show that will teach you some life lessons and encourage you to be better as it delivers funny and serious stories alike. A show whose runtime makes minutes feel like seconds as you're absorbed into its fictional town. It's ABC's The Middle. Now, I wasn't lucky enough to have watched this show from its pilot, or heck, pun intended, not even its first season, but somewhere around its third or fourth season, I stumbled upon this hidden gem, and it quickly became my new favorite. We all have comfy shows that we fall back on during stressful or upsetting times. Some of us like a cozy show to fall asleep to, or something to just put on in the background while we carry out errands. And over the years, The Middle has become my go-to for all of these. But what makes it so wholesome and cozy, you might ask? How is it so relatable? Well, for any show to work, it needs to know who its target audience is, and that's part of the beauty of The Middle right there. Anyone can watch this show and enjoy. The Middle casts a wide net. It is filled with characters of various ages and lucks out with being successful enough to run for 9 seasons, thus allowing its younger and older characters to grow up and their issues to age with them. Some episodes focus on the kid side of things, showcasing struggles from elementary school all the way to college and landing your first job. And some episodes will focus on the tragedies of being an adult, showcasing problems within the workplace or other things such as scraping together enough money to pay the water bill, or trying to recover old photos or other semi-meaningful mementos from the past. And then some episodes will focus on the family as a whole, showcasing community events such as the infamous lawnmower race, or the simple task of trying to find a good gift for Mother's Day. The Middle does a fantastic job at tackling all sorts of issues that a family will come across, making it infinitely relatable from the time you start watching as a kid to when you are rewatching it as a parent or grandparent. One episode in particular does a fantastic job at weaving the many phases of life together, while further establishing the Heck family early on in Season 1, The Scratch. In this episode, the main plot revolves around Frankie and her family having to deal with a social worker who has been tasked with evaluating the Heck family. Let's take a closer look. The episode starts off with a chaotic frenzy, like most days in the Heck residence, with the realization that it's trash day, and due to recent budget cuts, trash pickup is only happening once every 2 weeks. Meaning, if you miss a pickup, you'll be dealing with a month's worth of trash buildup by the time it rolls around again. And this, of course, is where our main conflict begins.
I swear I spent my whole life cleaning up other people's crap.
Ow!
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Are you all right?
Hey, guys, the truck's passing the Donahues.
Mom hit me with a beer bottle.
What?
Rick, don't tell people that. It sounds horrible. No, I was tossing it to Sue and Brick got in the way.
Now, that is a simple enough mishap, but of course, Brick being Brick, that turns into this.
Hey, buddy. What happened to your arm?
I'm not supposed to tell.
What do you mean?
My mom says I'm not supposed to tell.
Well, if something happened at home, you have to tell a grown-up.
Okay. My mom hit me with a beer bottle. She was mad, my dad was mad, and I always get in the way.
And this in turn leads to cops being called, and the principal having to vouch for Mike and Frankie so that they can take Brick home. Of course, it doesn't end there. They are now in the system, and the social worker will have to reaffirm that their house is a safe place for kids to live. This leads to a series of great scenes displaying the many personalities of the Heck family. We have a teenage boy who is thrilled about the situation and chooses to be a sarcastic terror. We have a girl who is horrified at the possibility of being separated from her family, and then we have little old Brick who doesn't have the faintest clue of what's really going on.
Yep, our future was in his hands.
And then, to make matters worse, they find out Mike had gone on a date with the social worker in the past but had never called her back, though in his defense, it was because he met Frankie and just happened to like her better. And so Mike and Frankie have to deal with the most unbelievable of circumstances, the best that they can, and sure enough, Frankie starts spiraling.
Miss Berry? Yes? I just wanted to explain why my husband Mike never called you back.
But of course, the middle, being the gem that it is, turns everything around in the end, leaving Frankie not only off the hook, but well equipped with a new tool in her parenting tool belt.
I cannot believe that you all let me go car skiing. It's safe. There's a spotter car that follows right behind. Oh my God, you're the worst mom ever.
Really? State of Indiana seems to disagree.
Yep, it was good to have it in writing.
Seeing the episode smoothly transition from one point of view to the next, going from the eyes of a young student to those of a stressed out working parent, shows how great of a handle that the middle has on the various phases of life. This is hopefully not a relatable predicament, however its characters and their reactions to this predicament make it a relatable episode nonetheless. And it makes you care about the lives of this average family in Orson, Indiana. Now, you'd think a normal family wouldn't make for great TV, but the beauty of the middle lies in that very fact. This is a very run-of-the-mill, average American family who, in all honesty, might even be just a tad below average.
Okay, everybody, listen up. Tonight I'm rushing home, and between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, that TV is mine. Don't even think about watching my TV. Here, I gotta take a shower. If I'm gonna sneak out an hour early, I can't be more than an hour late.
Honestly, they're just about a step above white trash, and I love it. Keep hugging that line, Hex. Also, the fact that they're in the flyover states is a point the show emphasizes very early on. The middle even comes from the phrase the middle of nowhere, and this emphasis helps depict how overlooked and perhaps meaningless their lives are, a savage point to make for sure.
Some people call this the middle of nowhere. You know, one of those places you fly over on your way from somewhere to somewhere else, but you wouldn't live here.
But it's these average lives that we can relate to and hopefully make us thankful for our own lives. Personally, the Heck household feels very reminiscent to the one I grew up in, and luckily grew out of, but I'm always drawn to this show because of that relatability and because I know these lives are anything but meaningless. The season 1 finale, Average Rules, is a great example of 3 ordinary, mundane, and yet relatable stories being highlighted in a way that makes them seem extraordinary. We have Brick being threatened with repeating the 3rd grade unless he can find all his overdue library books, which features the beloved Betty White and her threat of cursive.
You think you can make it out in the real world without cursive? You can't.
We have Axel being wrongly deemed gifted and having to live up to that.
I'm using my history book as a plate. No cleanup for you. You're welcome.
We got some pretty interesting news at your conference today. Apparently, you're smart.
I am?
And we have Sue wanting to try out for the no cuts cross-country team, but being injured right before tryouts. And in the most Sue way possible.
Sue, what happened?
I got hit by a deer.
You hit a deer?
No, I got hit by a deer.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
I just got hit by a deer. You hit a deer? No, I got hit by a deer.
They are all such average stories on paper, but show great growth and achievement for our characters, making us feel like maybe we can grow and achieve something great too. Brick learns to be less careless, Axel learns how to study and do well in school, and Sue shows that passion and a heart of fire can help ordinary people do extraordinary things. Now, The Middle isn't the only show that is able to accomplish such feats, and it surely isn't the only show that depicts an average American family. But it is one show that balances humor, drama, and the relatable average family so well that I'm always drawn back for more. And I think part of that, a big part really, is due to its incredible endings that make out these simple lives to be so much more. Every ending to a Middle episode wraps up its story threads in a perfect, pretty bow, leaving you with those satisfying goosebumps and heartwarming vibes, as it uses a perfect combination of wholesome lesson, charming narration, and cozy music. Frankie always felt like a second mother to me growing up, my TV mom as I used to call her. I care for her and her family, and hearing her talk about what she's learned makes me want to move right on to the next one. I could talk at length about any episode's ending, but one that my mind always comes back to is Season 2's The Prom, which has one of the most surprising endings in the entire show. This episode focuses on Axel's big mistake with asking the wrong girl, the wrong Ashley, to prom.
Let's see, no Ashley. No Ash. Oh, wait. There's one more.
No! Weird Ashley? No way, I can't take Weird Ashley to prom.
After this discovery, he is appalled, and his parents are appalled by him and his reaction. He butts heads with them throughout the episode, struggling to understand why it's so important to do the right thing and take Weird Ashley to the prom, while his parents struggle to understand the mind of a teenager. This leads to them bringing in outside help, that being one of my absolute personal favorite recurring minor characters, Reverend Tim Tom.
My name is Reverend Tim Tom. Well, actually, my name is Reverend Timothy Thomas, but my friends, and you are my friends, call me Reverend Tim Tom.
Tim Tom has his own way of doing things. He fixes problems without people really realizing it, without playing his hand and showing exactly what he's up to. And so while this episode has a fairly simple ending, the way it wraps it up and reveals Tim Tom's method makes it hit so much harder.
Look, if you're here to talk me into taking Weird Ashley to prom, don't bother.
Nah, just getting ready to take off. But I heard you had a Strat, and I was hoping I could take a look at it. You like blues?
Actually, a little more like...
So did you get through to him? Because, you know, the clay's drying. We're sort of in a hurry.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
What you got there? I'm not gonna take Weird Ashley to prom in my underwear. Think.
It happened just like that. Axel did the right thing. Maybe it was something I said, or Reverend Tim Tom sang, or Mike threatened, but something must have gotten through to him.
It's one night, man. Be cool.
Tim Tom's ways are the same ways that The Middle connects with us, the audience. He's a sneaky, charming devil with a smile on his face who can wiggle his way into anyone's heart. He connects with you and shows that he cares about you, and so when he gives you his final lesson, it hits harder and you care too. The Middle is more upfront with its lessons, but it has the same effect. It will find a way to wiggle into your heart and relate to whatever you're currently struggling with, putting on a powerful display of the little wins in life. And by the end, you'll find yourself smiling too. And you'll feel like you can do anything. So if you're on the lookout for a wholesome show about a group of relatable average Joes where each 20-minute episode will warm your heart and leave you with a smile on your face, then you've got to check out The Middle. I hope you enjoyed the video and are willing to give The Middle a chance if you haven't already, and if you have in the past and just didn't think it was for you, I'd highly encourage giving it another go. You might just find that you connect with different aspects now that you couldn't appreciate then. It's currently on HBO Max, so do be sure to check it out before Discovery or Warner Brothers takes it away for whatever reason. The Middle is going to be my highlighted show for 2023. I'll be putting out a number of video essays on it throughout the year, especially for holidays like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and the big three towards the end of the year. So I hope you'll consider sticking around for those. Easiest way to ensure you don't miss them is to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with a friend, as that is what helps the channel out the most here, and I would greatly appreciate it. But as for now, that's it from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you all in the next one.